Hi everybody and welcome to today's Lego Technic video. What I'm going to be talking about today is measuring relative friction, and what I mean by that is that sometimes you might have a design problem that you're trying to solve and you'll find there's lots of different ways of solving that particular problem. So for example, you might want to transfer some motion from one axle at one side of your design to the other side, and there's different ways of transferring that motion, and what I'm going to be doing today is comparing four different ways of doing that and looking at their relative frictions to find out which one is the best solution. So the first candidate that I've got is just simply using a number of 16 teeth gears. Now these gears are very handy in that they've got a spacing of 2 and there's lots of parts that allow you to easily connect them together to be able to drive the motion from one side to the other. The number of gears that you need is the distance you're trying to span divided by 2. So for example, in this case I'm trying to span a distance of 16, so I need 16 divided by 2 plus one more at the end to be able to drive the motion from this axle to that axle. So that's 9 gears overall to go from one end to the other. The other candidate that I've got is just using larger gears. So this is using a 40 tooth gearing system. In this case they can span a distance of 5 between the axles, and that means we just need 3 of the large wheels to be able to span that distance of 16. Another way of doing it would be to use the bevel gears to convert that motion from going in this direction to going in that direction, and in which case we're just going to put a big axle in the middle and we can easily transfer that motion from one side to the other. And the final option I'm looking at is to simply use a chain. So a chain is a very easy way of transferring motion from one side to the other. It does have a bit of a disadvantage that it can be a bit loose, which means you get a delay between going in one direction and reversing. So this is my test setup. What I've got here is 2 medium motors. The gearing on each side is identical, and what they do, they're going to be driving the solutions at this end. They could be connected on the ends here, and what it's going to be doing is exploiting the characteristic of electric motors, and that as the load on them increases, their speed decreases. So I've got a graph here that I've downloaded from a very good website by a user called Phil O, and what this graph does is it plots along the bottom here the load in Newton meters, or the torque on the motor, relative to its speed. So this blue line here shows you that at 0 torque it goes at the maximum speed of 400 RPM and it will decrease as the load increases. So by using that characteristic, what we can do is that if the loading on each of these is different, that means the speeds will be different, and we're going to measure the speed difference with this differential here. Now you recall that the characteristic of a differential is that the center is given by the average of the two sides, and I've got these rotating in opposite directions. So that means if the speeds are equal, which means the torques are equal, the loads are equal, then that differential speed will be 0. However, if one of these is going faster than the other, we'll see that differential slowly rotate in the direction of the faster side. Alright, so I'll just give you a demonstration of how that works. What I've got here is each motor being driven by a different battery pack. Now, because the characteristics of the motors are always slightly different, each individual motor has got its own sort of exact speed. We need to be able to calibrate them. So I've got one being driven by just a normal regular battery pack, and the other one is driven through a variable power supply, and by being able to vary the voltage on that motor we can change its speed. So if I turn both of them on, we can see that differential is already turning, and it's turning in the direction of this one here, which is this motor, which means this motor is actually going faster than that one. And the first thing I need to do is calibrate the voltage to be able to equalize the speed so that we have a fair comparison. As you can see, as we reduce the voltage, the speed slows down and that differential starts to slow down as well, and eventually it's going to get down to 0 like that. It's pretty close. So now that that center's been calibrated and it's not moving, I'll just demonstrate what happens when you put some loading, for example, on the black side. So if I load this side, we can see that the differential starts moving in this direction away from us, which means that the speed on the right side is higher than the left. And on the other hand, if I slow down the right side, you'll see that the differential starts moving towards us, and that implies there's more loading on the right side compared to the left side. And that's what we're going to be using to compare the two different solutions. Alright, so the first two solutions we're going to be comparing and competing will be the 16 tooth solution versus the 40-tooth solution. Can you guess which one will win? I'm guessing myself that the 40 teeth one will win because it's got less gears, but we'll see what happens. So what I can do, I can connect this onto the end like so, and put the pins in, connect this guy to the other end like that, and put the pins in. Alright, now we've got these two switches that isolate the gearing mechanisms from the driving mechanism, so that's to make sure the calibration is still correct when we start. So what we start like this, we can see that the differential is not rotating, and once we switch these two sides on, we're going to be comparing the 16 teeth versus the 40 teeth. Let's see what happens. Here we go. So what is going on here? We have got the fact that the differential is moving. It's moving in this direction, which means this one's going faster, this one's going slower, and that shows you that there's more loading on the 40 teeth compared to the 16 teeth. So surprisingly, 16 teeth beats 40 teeth in driving the gears from one side to the other. So the winner of round one, the 16 teeth gear solution. Alright, so now it's going to get the next challenger. The next challenger is going to be the chain solution. So we're going to be connecting the chain solution and comparing it to the 16 teeth solution. So we'll put the 16 teeth guy back on. He goes on this end. And the chain solution, we'll put that on this end. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, start your engines. Calibration, slightly off. Turn that up. Okay, so let's see what happens. Ready, set, go. Oh, look at that. Comparing the 16T solution against the chain solution, we can see that the rotation's in this direction. This side is winning, it's going faster. This shows that the winner is the chain solution. The chain solution is more efficient than the 16T solution. So the winner of round two is the chain solution, and that will now be challenged by the bevel gear axle solution. So we'll compare these two. We'll put him back on over here. Put the challenger on this side over here. Alright, connect the pins. Turn that off. Start your motors. Check the calibration is correct. And let's go. Wow, look at that. It is very, very even. We can see a very, very slow rotation towards us. That means that the left side is winning. And that means that the bevel gear solution beats the chain solution. I think we have a winner. Alright, so we found our champion. The winner was the bevel gear and axle solution. In this particular experiment, this was the best way of transmitting movement from an axle to another axle further away. In this case, it's using the bevel gears, an axle, and another two bevel gears on the ends. Now, of course, this solution may not be the best for your particular application. It also depends on the torque loading on the final output gears. One disadvantage of bevel gears is that they can slip under high load. However, in this particular scenario, it is the winner. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it. If you'd like to support this channel, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.